What's going on, guys? This is JT here. I am about to bring another new episode to the main channel, which I am super excited about. It is going to be called Hero Spotlight. And what's going to go down is I'm going to be breaking down each hero in the game of your choice. First hero, I picked out ASURA, so we're going to be talking about ASURA in this video. But if you want to see another hero, leave me a comment in the comments below. Let me know what hero you want to see next, and I will choose whatever the most liked comment is. So the reason why I picked ASURA is, honestly, I'm a huge fan of his looks. Also, he has some things that he does in-game that other heroes just don't simply do. And not only that, I love the cyborg skin. It is absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and get into ASURA's skill. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into ASURA's skill. We got Power Hungry, which I absolutely love this skill, and it is currently at level 10. So we got deals 480% attack damage to 4 nearby enemy targets and reduces their energy by 24 every second, which is absolutely insane. Anytime you can reduce the energy of heroes, it's really valuable. Just think about it. A level 8 Empower Insignia only gains you energy of 15 per second. This reduces more than that, which is very, very big. ASURA's like that hero where you don't really notice he's doing a lot of things, but he really is secretly that just don't show out in battle because his damage just isn't insanely high. So we got this skill will activate only once and last throughout the entire battle. What that means exactly is once ASURA procs, once his energy bar fills all the way up and he procs his skill, he then never has to proc again. He's then good to go. So what that also means is you would never want to run something like Empower or Revitalize as a main talent or an insignia on ASURA just because it'd be completely useless, right? You would never need to gain his energy up anymore after that first proc. So we also got this hero is immune to stun and fear and deflects 50% of all damage, which is absolutely insane. ASURA can never be stunned, he can never be feared, but the most important thing is he's deflecting 50% of all his damage that's incoming. Now what that means is, as you can see right here, ASURA has 291,000 base life, so when he gets hit, he can actually take in about somewhere around like 580,000 damage, which is insane because he's going to be deflecting 50% of that damage. So not only does he take less damage, he also dishes out damage while he's deflecting, which is absolutely huge, especially in battle when you're dealing with heroes like Levanica and Dovekeeper who only take in a certain amount of damage per hit. For instance, Dovekeeper only takes in 18,000 damage per hit. So you have ASURA just sitting there swacking at Dovekeeper for the base damage, so hitting him for 18,000 damage per turn. You also have ASURA's skill that's just swiping out every second, dishing out more damage. Then on top of that, you have the deflect by ASURA, which is helping you deal even more damage. The more damage you can dish out, the better. Alright, so let's go over my top 5 talents for ASURA. Number 1 is my favorite talent, honestly, on ASURA. Right here you can see Vital Boon. The reason why I like Vital Boon so much on ASURA because it has the most important detail that any talent can have, in my opinion, for ASURA, and that is raising his HP. The more HP ASURA has, the better all in all, because remember, ASURA deflects 50% amount of damage, so if you can raise his HP, that just means he's going to be deflecting more damage, plus also staying alive longer, right? So let's go over Vital Boon. We got raises HP by 120%, which is huge, and also, not only that, when attacked, 60% chance to remove 3 debuffs from the heroes, right? So if you guys don't know what a debuff is, what that is let's say Michael comes on and casts attack on their heroes, or Walla Walla comes in, cast attack on those heroes, or any buff in the entire game, ASURA is going to be then taking that buff away, right? So that is just keeping him alive even more longer, but not only him, it's keeping the whole entire party, whatever heroes you're using, alive and not having to deal with a constant amount of buffs. Alright, so my number 2 talent for ASURA is going to be Sacred Light. I know a lot of people don't agree with Sacred Light, and the reason why is because they do agree with the fact that it raises his HP, but they don't agree with the fact that the damage received is reduced by 60%. However, it is definitely the best talent for defense on ASURA. Of course, you won't be deflecting as much damage because ASURA himself won't be taking in as much damage. But, like I said, very good defensive talent, and it's very easy to get Sacred Light in Castle Clash these days, so a very, very, very solid option in my opinion. Let's go on to number 3. Number 3 talent, we got Vigorous Fury. That is the newest talent in the game, and honestly, I haven't quite tested this talent out yet, but I'm going to put this in my top 3, and the main reason why is because it increases ASURA's HP by 120%. That is awesome, right? Same thing as Vital Boon. Vital Boon removes buffs from the other heroes. This talent actually raises the crit rate of ASURA by 80%. If the hero has at least 45% of their HP and lasts for 2.5 seconds. Now, one important thing to keep in mind, if you are running Vigorous Fury on ASURA, you're also going to want to run something that gains him life as an insignia. What is that? That is going to be Survival. Those two go hand in hand together, and I'm also going to get into my top insignias as well. But for the number 4 talent, we have Tenacity. Now, Tenacity, the reason why I picked Tenacity is because, honestly, it is better than most other talents, but the main reason why is because when you roll Tenacity, you're normally like, oh, man, I got Tenacity, right? And it just doesn't really have a place to shine, especially on free-to-play accounts, but you don't want to let that talent pass by. You want to go ahead and throw that on ASURA, especially if you're a new player that doesn't really have that many talents to select from, right? ASURA is definitely a home for Tenacity because it raises his HP all in all by 160%. Again, doesn't have any of the other factors like Vital Boon or Vigorous Fury, but Tenacity is definitely a very good option. And last but not least, I'm going to go with 2 different talents here as the 5 spot. I think that Revive is good for HBM and other game modes as well, but I personally would never put Revive on ASURA, but you can get him reviving twice, which definitely is helpful. And if you don't have any insignias of Survival, then Survival is an option as well as a main talent for ASURA because that will definitely keep him alive for a long time. Alright, so let's talk about my 5 favorite insignias for ASURA. Hands down, my number 1 favorite insignia for ASURA is Survival. And I want to show you guys some gameplay of Survival in action as well, because maybe you guys will be like, oh man, I really need to put Survival on ASURA. Alright, so let's get into ASURA gameplay. Now remember, this is with no insignia at all. I'm going to be practicing against my boy Brad RS, dropping him in the top left. That way we don't pull out all the heroes at once, and you can still see ASURA takes in quite a bit of damage over here. But remember, he is still reflecting 50% of all damage taken in, which is very nice, and that's also another reason why you want to keep him alive as long as possible. Wow, ASURA didn't even make it to the heroes without Survival on him. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw the insignia on him. We got level 8 Survival coming on. Now that is the only thing we are changing on our ASURA as of right now. So we're going to go back into battle against Brad. Get a nice practice. Again, drop him over here at the top left. That way we try to avoid pulling out, all the heroes at once. But as you can see, ASURA's already not taking any damage right here, which is very nice. He comes over here, still not taking in any damage. Already set his proc off, so he's doing damage to buildings and also to some heroes. So we've pulled out quite a few heroes, including Levanica. But still, take a look. Now he's invulnerable, still staying alive against this guy's whole team here. Still coming on strong, and finally fell over. We actually were able to kill, I believe, a Cosmo. Couldn't kill Anubis because it has 3 lives, but at least we snatched up a Cosmo out of it. And you guys could just see from the raw footage right there, big, big, big advantage when you have Survival on ASURA. The reason why is because when ASURA takes in damage, Survival negates all damage taken in for 3 seconds, but not only that, it heals ASURA back up to full life. So remember, you're going to be stacking a ton of life on ASURA. What goes hand in hand with that? Well, guess what? Survival does, because not only do you not take damage for 3 seconds, you also gain all your life back after Survival proc. So all in all, my favorite insignia for ASURA is Survival. My second favorite insignia for ASURA is going to be Vital Boon. That's assuming you do not have that as a main talent. Obviously, you do not want to run the main talent and insignia as the same thing, right? You switch these up from time to time depending on what you're running, right? And whatever situation you're in. So the reason why Vital Boon is my favorite insignia is because the same reason as far as what I explained with the talent, right? Raises up the HP, also removes debuffs. Very, very, very helpful. My third is going to be Vigorous Fury for ASURA as the next insignia. Vigorous Fury, you know, it's still really solid, increases the HP a ton and also the crit rate. I feel like that's going to be hand in hand pretty solid, especially if you have survival as the main talent. If you don't have survival as the main talent, I don't know how much I would go with Vigorous Fury. I would honestly probably rather have a talent or insignia like Bulwark, because then not only with Bulwark you get a bunch of extra damage, or 60% extra damage, you also get 60% extra HP. So you get a little bit of both, right? So Bulwark is definitely an option, and in situations like, I don't really know where I'd use it, but if you don't have survival, my fifth pick was Revive, just because, again, this is for players who don't have survival. If you don't have survival, then go with Revive, because then ASURA will be revived and obviously brought back to life, and he gains his life back really quick, assuming you do have a healer and also running a healer pet on ASURA. Alright, let's get into my favorite two pets for ASURA. Coming in the #1 spot is going to be PURRSALOT. Why is my favorite pet PURRSALOT? Well, honestly, you don't really find that many heroes that you can put PURRSALOT on, because she doesn't really synergize all that well. However, for ASURA, she really shines a lot, and here's the reason why. Let's go ahead and get into her skill. We got Ferocity. We got when its hero attacks, PURRSALOT deals 520% pet attack damage to 3 enemy heroes in the target area, and reduces their energy regain rate from normal attacks and receiving damage only by 75%. So what that means is when its hero comes in and starts attacking your ASURA, then PURRSALOT is then going to come in, proc on that hero, reduce its energy regain rate by 75% while it's doing basic attacks, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is an absolute ton, especially when you have ASURA's main skill reducing energy as well, right? The combo of them both just really fits in together very well. My second favorite pet is going to be RUDUFF on ASURA. The reason why I like RUDUFF so much is, first, let's go ahead and read the skill. We got Jingle Bells. We got RUDUFF removes all conditions from 4 nearby friendly heroes, which is insane. So you have Vital Boon that comes in that's removing buffs from the heroes that you're fighting, and now you got RUDUFF that's coming in that's removing negative conditions from your heroes, which is very important, and it's a hand-in-hand, very good combination with ASURA as well. So we got RUDUFF removes all conditions from 4 nearby friendly heroes and restores their HP equal to 430% pet attack. It's very nice to have a heal on ASURA as well, and all in all, that is the reason why I picked both of these pets to go on ASURA. Alright, so let's go over the top 5 enchantments that I like to put on ASURA as well. Coming in the #1 spot, that is going to be MALAISE. The reason why I like MALAISE so much on ASURA, because like I said, ASURA's you already got him stacked up with tons of HP. He's going to be insanely defensive if you're going with my setup. Now, MALAISE comes into battle really shines in Guild Wars and also Lost Battlefield. So when it comes in, we got reduces the healing effects on 2 random enemy heroes by 100% for 5 seconds, right? That is very valuable, and ASURA is a very good hero to choose that on. My second favorite enchantment is going to be Victory Lunge. Now, for obvious reasons, Victory Lunge is the only enchantment that gives 25% plus attack, which is the most attack damage, so you can never go wrong basically putting Victory Lunge on almost any hero in the game. But ASURA himself already has a built-in deflect. Well, guess what? This enchantment talent reflects 15% more of the incoming damage on ASURA, so that falls into the #2 spot. We got #3 coming in. It is going to be Burning Plate. The reason why I like Burning Plate on ASURA, because you're already stacking up insane amounts of HP. Well, guess what? Burning Plate increases this hero's max HP by 25%. But not only that, ASURA does an AoE once he procs to 5 heroes at all times, removing their energy. Well, Burning Plate also does additional damage that's just constantly attacking the enemy. So that right there goes hand in hand as well. In the 4th spot, we're going to go with Forest Ward. Now, this is just if you want to set your ASURA up completely defensive, and also I went with this enchantment as well because Forest Ward does not fit all that well on some other heroes, and ASURA, it does find a spot because it just does. I mean, let's go ahead and read it. We got Forest Ward has 30% chance to remove all conditions and restore 30% HP when attacked. The cooldown's 8 seconds. The only downside with Forest Ward is it does have an 8-second cooldown, but that's okay. Don't worry about the 30% chance to remove all conditions and restore 30% HP, because that 30% is always going to proc, right? He's going to be constantly getting attacked, so that percentage literally means nothing, and this is pretty nice if you get 30% more HP. When you're talking ASURA, you could be talking 3 million life. So if a hero has 3 million life, 30% is almost going to be 1 million life, right? So pretty big. Last but not least, I went with Blinding Blow. Now, honestly, this is like my real last but not least. I just couldn't find another enchantment to put on ASURA, so I was like, you know what? He'd be really good if he's dishing out some damage, but not only that, Blind is another type of stun, but not considered, I don't actually know. I don't think Blind's considered as a stun. I think it's considered as a blind. So if a hero is immune to stun, I'm pretty sure it can still be blinded. However, don't quote me on that because I do need to test that out, but I've always just went with the fact that, oh, I'm right. Like, I don't need to test that out. One of those type of deals, right? All right, so yeah, those are my top 5 enchantments for ASURA. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the best traits to put on ASURA. In my personal opinion, it's really smart to spend your gems on traits, but you don't want to go, unless you're a heavy pay-to-play player, which I know most of you guys aren't, you don't want to go all out and let's say spend like 10,000 gems rolling traits on any hero because that's just a huge waste of gem. It's just too expensive, right? You can get by with keeping some 5 stars and not necessarily aiming for one specific trait. But if you were to aim for one specific trait, in my opinion, I would go with Dodge. All in all, I mean, it just keeps him alive even longer, helps him reduce the energy. Like I said, the longer he stays alive, the more energy he's going to be reducing, no doubt about that. So if you can afford it, go ahead and put all Dodge on your ASURA. But if you can't, I would go with either Dodge, HP, or Accuracy. Now, don't go too heavy into Accuracy. 1 or 2 Accuracy traits is going to be more than enough, but you do want to make sure that ASURA is hitting the targets that he's attacking, right? Not only that, HP you can really never go wrong with. I mean, 15,000 HP per level 5 star trait. That's not too bad. All in all, it's like over 100,000 HP, or 90,000 to be exact, HP gained if you went all HP traits. So yeah, those are my top 3 traits for ASURA. Alright, so last, let's talk about Destiny with ASURA. You know, a lot of people when it comes to Destiny, they're trying to find out like, well, which hero should I be leveling up in Destiny first? Should I go with Dovekeeper? Should I go with Levanica? Sometimes the most powerful hero isn't always the hero you should go with because a lot of the times it only adds plus attack, just a little bit more damage. But with ASURA, let's go ahead and get in here and check this out. So at level 10, Power Hungry now deals 480% attack damage to 4 nearby enemy targets and reduces their energy by 24 every second. Now look what happens when we take this skill to level 11. We now got deals 510% attack damage to 5 nearby enemy targets, which is a whole nother hero. So when you're talking Guild Wars attacks, if they have all their heroes next to each other, or in Lost Battlefield or Fortress Feud where all the heroes are next to you, 5 total heroes is more than 4. So very, 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 very valuable, especially when it comes to leveling up Destiny. And the average player can tend to get a hero to 11 of 11. And in my personal opinion, ASURA is definitely a top 5 hero on who I would raise the Destiny skill level up to 11 of 11 on first. No doubt about that. Alright guys, that sums up the first hero on Hero Spotlight. Please do not be shy. Let me know in the comments below what you think of not only this video, but let me know what hero you want to see next, because whatever comment is liked the most, that's what hero I'm going to be going with. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this Hero Spotlight and also what hero is going to be next. Anyway guys, I am out of here for now. Peace out, fellas.